What are the benefits of magic mushrooms? That's what we're going to find out this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show's 39th episode, Magic Mushrooms, in our medicinal mushroom magic series. Medicinal mushroom magic series. That was easy for me to say, huh? I'm Michelle Wildflower. I am the founder and alchemist for Nature's Mysteries Apothecary, also the director of education at Nature's Mysteries Academy of Holistic Health. And I wanted to welcome you this evening as we explore the many amazing medicinal benefits of magic mushrooms. In our medicinal mushroom magic series, we've been covering the benefits of many different kinds of mushrooms, specifically four over the last few weeks. The first episode, we explored the benefits of reishi. The next one was turkey tail. And then the next was chaga. And tonight we're gonna explore the compound psilocybin, which is found in psychedelic or hallucinogenic mushrooms, and explore that compound and the way that it helps to alleviate a myriad of symptoms that people are experiencing, and the way that it can alter your reality, and then in turn you would reap many benefits. So let's get into that. Researchers are confirming its potential in the use for a myriad of mental health issues that folks suffer from, specifically veterans. And the previous studies also indicated its ability to reduce depression and anxiety in groups of cancer patients. Sometimes altering our perception of reality is exactly what's needed to overcome a traumatizing experience, so that we can kind of view it from an observer's stance with fresh eyes, almost removed, where we can see it, the situation, and what the resolution could be, and instead of being someone who's so closely tied to the outcome and what the results of it were. Psilocybin also decreases brain activity, and once it reaches the brain, it decreases brain activity, increases the brain, decreases the activity in the brain. Thoughts associated with obsessive thinking cease, quieting the mind, allowing one to access the parts of the mind that usually remain stifled. It also affects the neurotransmitter serotonin, which is linked to moods, depression, and states of anxiety. Actually, in the 1950s and 60s, psychedelics like psilocybin were studied for their potential in the psychiatry and oncology fields. However, the Controlled Substance Act was signed into law in 1970, categorizing hallucinogens like psilocybin mushrooms as Schedule 1 drugs, meaning it had a high potential for abuse, and that it had no medical use at all in treatment, which we know isn't true. And because of this, federal funding for research was dried up, and there wasn't any funds available. So this is kind of similar to what happened to cannabis, or similar to around that time, which is really sending very mixed messages to the public, because cannabis has been legalized in so many countries. Countries also, but in so many states in the United States now, that if it's still being classified as a Schedule 1 drug, then, like heroin is a Schedule 1 drug. So we shouldn't be, saying that Schedule 1 drugs are okay to use. And if cannabis and psilocybin are classified as Schedule 1 drugs, and then we're making them legal, that is mixed messages. So we need to declassify them, get them off of the Schedule 1 drug list, and have them more on a list that might be listing all of the potential compounds that can help to alleviate a myriad of symptoms, like we said, instead of having it as a compound with no medical no medical possibility for healing, you know what I mean? And now psilocybin is actually gaining recognition right behind cannabis for its medicinal benefits. Slowly, people are waking from their slumber as the recent findings about psilocybin suggest that there is therapeutic potential to be explored. It also shows promise in help curbing the reliance on pharmaceutical drugs in specific instances. According to a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, a single dose of a synthetic version of psilocybin helped alleviate depression in people with a treatment-resistant version of depression. Now, I would never recommend a synthetic version myself. I would always go directly to the mushroom, which, Mother Earth has supplied for us in all of its totality, full spectrum, and perfectness the way that it is, as opposed to a synthetic molecule that has been isolated and created in a lab, and it doesn't have all of those other compounds that the mushroom naturally would have occurring in it, which would help to complement the effects of the psilocybin. So it was also found that psilocybin reduced anxiety and depression among cancer patients and survivors in just one session, according to 2 studies published in the Journal of Psychopharmacology. And these one-off experiences also had lasting effects. So it wasn't just a one-time thing. 1 dose of psilocybin, 1 time, decreased anxiety and depression in most participants and occurred right in the session. So they actually felt the results in that session, and it lasted between 4 to 6 hours, as opposed to therapy and antidepressants that can take weeks or months to start working, if at all, right? And subjects also reported finding themselves with a new meaning of life, an increased quality of life, and newfound optimism. The results of that were also long-lasting. 80% of the group continued showing clinically significant decreases in depressed mood and anxiety 6 months after the last treatment. And like we said, so this is so different from pharmaceuticals, which could take a long time to start working, if at all, whereas this is immediate. There's no debilitating side effects. You're not experimenting with, a multitude of different compounds that are creating all kinds of imbalances in your body. Sure, you might have to find the correct dose, but it's actually helping you, So it's just amazing medicine, and it's really wonderful that we're actually going to have access to it soon. 83% reported an increase in their well-being, and 67% rated the experience as one of the top 5 meaningful experiences in their lives. And there are people training right now so that when the day comes that psilocybin is legal and is a medicine that we are able to access, they will all be trained and ready to facilitate this healing experience for you. The effects of psilocybin usually take around 30 minutes to start and can last up to 6 hours. So if you've never experienced the effects of psychedelics before, we strongly recommend that you do it with a buddy or someone who is highly trained in that area to watch over you and help you in case you need help, because it is something that, it's mind altering. So if you're going to be going on a quest, it's always good to incorporate the buddy system, right? So what'd you think? That was a lot of facts, huh? And a lot of reasons to use magic mushrooms. And when do you think that they'll become legal? And if they do you think that this is some kind of medicine that you might be interested in trying for yourself? Or do you have a loved one that you know of that might be interested in using this medicine, that it might benefit? Just something to keep an eye out for, and just to follow the news and keep up with daily updates because it is right around the corner of the legalization of psilocybin. So everyone will have access to it in a, you know, controlled environment with trained professionals is how we recommend doing that, especially if you're trying to treat some kind of condition specifically or disease. And so that was about all we wanted to say about mushrooms. And so we're done with that series now. This was the last one, and I appreciate your patience in bearing with me because we weren't able to air the last episode. So we're trying to make it up now. And then for the rest of this month, we're going to be talking about imbalances for the month of February. So, you know, you might say you feel off balance, or you feel imbalanced, or you feel unbalanced. But what does that really mean? You know, there's so many different levels of unbalance and so many different ways that we can experience imbalances. So over the next few weeks in February, that's what we're going to be exploring, is different types of imbalances. So we'd love to have you join us and explore those symptoms and ways to alleviate them without the debilitating side effects of pharmaceutical medications. And we appreciate you for joining us this evening on this episode, learning about magic mushrooms and the ways that they can alleviate anxiety, depression, other mental health disorders. And we'll look forward to seeing you the rest of this month as we discover the essence of plant medicine. Take care.